What's going on, my good sir? What is going on, everybody? This is the PR Project, episode 2 of season 2. This is officially the New York City, road to New York City, street to New York City, whatever to New York City.
You're
This is the vibes. We are going to New York, and it's going to go down in November 6th. We're going to take to the Big Apple streets, the streets of the Big Apple.
shout out
Um,
Brooklyn.
shout
Shout out
out Brooklyn.
Shout out Staten Island. Shout out
all the
Queens.
all the five.
Shout out.
Mhm.
Damn, I forgot somebody. Manhattan.
Queen? Do you say Queens?
Yeah, I didn't say Manhattan.
Manhattan.
So,
All of them. We gonna go around. We'll do a nice little
Shout out Fabulous.
shout out Fabulous, one of the best rappers in Brooklyn. So yeah, that's you're petty for that. Anyway, this is the PR Project. Welcome everybody. I'm Tommy Runs. That is Aaron Worldwide to
Hello.
my other side there, and we missed last week because where was I?
He was out in New England streets, out in Quahog.
Oh yeah. I was out in the New England streets. I was at the Falmouth Road Race. I went out there with ASICS as part of their media team to see some really cool stuff that's coming out in like 2023, possibly some in 2024. A little couple teasers in there. And when I tell you that part of it, to go inside and check out the office and all that stuff, I did it last year. But when I say like, this brand has done a really great job. I think that you guys will be excited to see some of the new things that they have coming. It's like, you know how, Aaron, like those legacy shoes that are like, at 23, 24, 25 iterations, they really change like very small things along the way. Like, and it's kind of like, all right, when you going to get that? They made some jumps in this one where it looks like they skipped 2 iterations of a shoe.
So they sometimes call that like eras. So like the shoe will have an era. Like the Pegasus had an era where it looked the same for like 5 years, and then maybe they're entering a new era of these legacy models.
They need to call it that and then just drop it, because I can't say anything about what it is. But
I think you've said too much already.
No, I mean they have like 7. All their shoes are legacy, and some like there's a bunch of 23, 24.
Mr. ASICS himself gonna kick down your door in a second.
Dang, he gonna fly all the way from Japan.
He gonna get on one of them new airplanes.
No, with the super laid back boy. Yeah, so it was really dope trip. You want me to just talk about the race? Let's go ahead and do that. So we're out there as a part of Team ASICS, but then the cool part about it was I also got to run the Falmouth Road Race. Falmouth Road Race. It was the 50th edition of the Falmouth Road Race, so this 50th time they've ever done it. It was really dope. It's a 7-mile race. The second time I did it. It's like I'll just talk about the race day vibes. It was really cool. We got VIP trout tour bus, all that stuff down from Boston to Falmouth, with like police escort and all that. And we sat right at the start line. It's like the legendary spot where it always starts. And we were at the restaurant there, had bagels, all that stuff. But it was really cool because I didn't necessarily have like this big, like I'm trying to PR energy about it. It was more like, I'm here and I just want to run well because I got the Erie Marathon coming up in 3 weeks from that point. So I'm like, let's just have a good time. Don't go too crazy. But it's in August, so it's notoriously cool in the morning somehow in the water. But then by the time the race starts or gets halfway through, like it's like scorching because you're in direct sun. So the first 3 miles are extremely hilly, very aggressive downhills, pretty steep uphills. But somehow the first 2-3 miles is very fast, just because of that rolling part. But they tell you to pull back on those first few miles because once you're out of that section, it does flatten out, but it spits you out like to right on the ocean. So there is no trees. You're in the direct sun for a few miles. So it's like you get some reprieve from the hills, but then here you go. Now you're in the oven. And then at the end of the race, there's a few bigger hills, and within, I think it's a 7-mile race, so I think at mile like 6.3 or 4, there's like this really steep climb to get to the top of this hill. And then they tell you it's all rolling like straight downhill from there. But once you get to the top of this hill, you're gassed. This is at mile 6 and whatever, 6.7 or whatever, or 8. And then it doesn't really just drop straight down. Like you kind of go around a few corners. You can't see the finish line until you are extremely downhill and you're like right there at the finish. So it was dope. I ran well. I was happy with the performance. Jumped in the ocean afterwards. Really cool vibe. ASICS is, I mean, they just go all the way out for people that they rock with. So it was just really dope experience. Great race. And I really left that race feeling like, okay, like Erie's not gonna be anything like this, and I won't be running this fast at all. But to be able to do, 2-mile warm up, 7-mile race, and then 2-mile cool down and feel decent in the heat and finish strong and all that. A couple times, like I try to be as honest as possible about all races, all runs, all that. Bro, like mile 4, I was like, can't do this. Nope, this is not today. I started copping please. I'm 3 weeks out from the marathon. I just can't do it. And then next thing I know, I'd forget that statement and then still be like right where I'm at with everybody else. And then somebody else would come up like, let's go, Tommy. Like they'd be right next to me. I'm like, no, today ain't the day. Just go ahead, do your thing. Because I wasn't trying to push too hard.
Yeah.
But then next thing I know, I'm right with that person still. And I just kept having this like weird game where I was just like, you can't do this, like just back off. A couple of times, like I actually like decelerated, like because I was like, no, this ain't it. But then somehow like I just kept going. So to me, that was a randomly tough race. But at the same time, it'll once you're through it, it's like one of those moments where it's like, you doubted yourself and you kept going. Yeah, so it just, to me, it just gave me that moment of like, of consciousness where it's like, you are not necessarily the crazy stuff you say to yourself, in a race or in a day, like all that negative stuff that we say and do or say really, or tell ourselves that story. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, like, cause I said I couldn't do it 5 times in a race. And then, I finished well. Like it wasn't like I just like my fastest mile of the day was second fastest mile of the day was the last mile with the hill. So it's just like, that's why I share those moments, because it's like we all have, like, some of us think that we're the only people that like think like negative thoughts in a race, or just tell themselves they can't do something. And I guess the moral is like, just keep pushing is just a little further, and we forget, and next thing you know, like that little further is another mile, and you did that mile faster than the one before when you said you couldn't do it. So, so it was a good race, but it was like a teaching moment for me too.
Yeah, and I think a big learning lesson, a touch point from that race that you could take is the fact that just because it's bad right now, that doesn't mean that it's gonna stay bad. Like a lot of times we get caught up in like, man, this is only second mile of this run, and I already feel terrible. Like it's gonna feel terrible for the rest of the run. But that's not always the case. So it's just about acknowledging. And I seen Steve Magnus said on Twitter, he said having a calm conversation with fatigue. So like a lot of times we panic when we get tired. And I think that additional panic adds to the anxiety of trying something hard. So if you can stay calm and have a calm conversation with the thing that's causing this problem, or the symptom of this problem at hand. So if it's fatigue, if it's maybe something is feeling a little strange, if your first reaction is to panic, that'll only exacerbate it. But if you can have a calm conversation with it, if you can just acknowledge it but not let it consume you, which I think you pretty much explained that's what you did, you'll have a good chance. But I haven't really got a chance to talk to you about Falmouth at all for some reason. I've ran with you a bunch of times, but we really didn't discuss it that much. Did you feel like your
quick shout out though, because the reference was dope, because Steve Magnus has a book out. It's called Do Hard Things, and it's not like I thought it was gonna be just all about like grit and like just like the male like testosterone driven version of just keep going, you could do anything, or like that, don't be a punk, like that vibe, but it was so much different than that. Like I would suggest it for parents. Like I'm in there, like I'm listening to the book because I audio booked it. I'm listening to the book thinking about like, dang, like this could be something I could, the way I talk to my children differently, the way I talk to myself in long runs and in races and things like that. Really, really great book for so many different reasons, not just so you could PR. Like, very good book.
Yeah.
So I just had to throw that in there.
I wanted to ask you, do you feel like your experience with that course, since this is the second time you ran Falmouth, did that help you at all, or was it?
Well, it was like it helped me like to the point where like I kind of knew what was about to happen, but then I feel like I was a different type of fit last year too, because we were training for we were doing faster races. There was no marathon in the near future. It was all like the half marathon was at the end of the year for us. So like that's all we were doing was speed work, and so like I was less prepared in that aspect because I was on marathon training legs, so it was a little different. So like I thought like, yeah, this is gonna be nothing, but then I realized in there somewhere it was like, yo, I'm not even really like ready for this moment, and but it did help me at the end of the race because I knew, okay, it's gonna be, because the first time there's like this little hill, it's not little, it's like a hill, and then people tell you about the last hill, so you go, oh, like the first time I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad, and then you go down and you turn this corner and then you look up at like a mountain. It's like, oh, this is the hill. So this time I knew like it's two more. This first one is nothing. Just roll over it and then just pick up some speed. So yeah, in that aspect, it helped me finish the race better. And Lance and Joe ran the race as well. Lance and Joe from we were on 313, and Lance was like ahead of me, like so long. Like it felt like forever. Like he was ahead of me like for 5 miles, but just like within distance, for some reason it was messing with me. I just couldn't catch up to him. But I think that's where that kind of helped me because I knew like, okay, there's a couple of hills coming up, so I could at least try to catch them then. Yeah. But I would highly suggest it if you can get out there. Falmouth's a weird race because it's on like the Cape, so it's just a strange race to like go to and stay in that area. Mm-hmm. But if you are from there and you just heard about it and you want to go, I mean, it's a huge race. It's like 10,000 people or something like that. Some crazy number. Go. It's a great time.
Yeah. And it looked like a great atmosphere. A couple familiar winners as well. So that was cool.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Ben Flanagan won for the third time. He won this year, last year, and then I think 2018 or 19, but 3-time winner. I don't know if anybody's done that before, but I actually talked to him afterwards because it was hotter than last year. And it was just hotter than last year. So like that's the heat is a big deal for that course. So it's like I talked to him after because like it just happened to be passing him and I had him on my show. So he's like, hey, so we talked for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, this year was miserable. But I mean, he ran 4 minute and 30 something second pace for 7 miles.
So he was done quicker, so he couldn't really complain.
Yeah, I know. How can you complain? I was out there way longer than you, bro. So I don't want to hear it, But yeah, he had a good day, man. It was a good day out there.
That's awesome. So
Kira D'Amato, shout out to Kira. Kira D'Amato came and randomly won the race 3 weeks after a marathon or whatever, or a month after a marathon.
She used them leftover legs.
Jesus. Leftover leg, and she doing Berlin, so leftover leg.
A little leftover, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Leftover barbecue. She made it work.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, that's terrible. But yeah, so it was good. It was a good time. Yeah, so highly recommend.
For sure. So what was the? Did you feel any recovery was needed after such a technical course, or?
No. I think. No, I mean, I ran the next day. I actually felt really, really good the next day. I mean, I guess it was only 11 miles. I mean, in grand scheme of things, like we've done workouts that are 16, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was kind of one of those vibes. And when you got like Cherry Bundy, a foam roller, and, Forrest massage gun,
like
you can afterwards, the protein, it was just like, you just jump right back into it, and I think,
What kind of socks did you wear out there?
I had some Falca socks, what I mean? Yeah, like it was everything you needed in a day. And then at the end of it, popped off my shoes, threw on some UFO slides. I couldn't even if what can you ask? What more can you ask for? You know, like that's how you guys want to know how you do like a hard effort or a long run or whatever and get right back to it. Cherry Bunny fours, Falcon socks, Falcon socks, and UFO slides. That's all you gotta do.
It's the secret recipe.
And anywhere in Metaspeed Sky Plus. That's the point of it is to save your legs.
Yeah. And your kit was, you know what I'm saying? You got to throw a little tracksmith in there. We all good.
I expect at least 6 checks in the mail soon. I need all them checks. That's
you got to get all those logos tatted first.
Oh, never mind. I'm about to say I might. Just depending on what you're talking about. What kind of check we got. But yeah, man, it was good. Real quick, I gotta do a little selfish plug because a dope thing happened yesterday. It's a hard left from what we just talked about, but came back to the area. Was really excited about this the whole time as well because it was coming up on us pretty soon. The Saucony launch party. It's really the endorphin launch party. I approached Saucony a couple months ago and said, like, look, I know you're about to drop these shoes because I had the Pro 3 and tested it, loved it. So I'm like, it would be cool. I know it's coming out in August. It'd be cool if you could do like some type of party bigger than just a normal, just a normal like group run with a demo, of the shoe. Like, let's have a party. Let's have some drinks and food and a panel discussion to talk about the shoes so people can actually learn about it instead of just saying, hey, buy this shoe. And it just went so well yesterday. Like, and the biggest thing for me was being from one of the cities that is not, LA, New York, Chicago, Boston. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. That like they London, Tokyo, Paris, that like get like these really big launches and the brands show up in full force. Like if you go to New York, there's probably a brand activation of some sort every day, and if not every weekend for sure. And Detroit area does not have that at all. And even around the Detroit Free Press, you don't really see like brands show up. They just go to they go to the expo, and that it is what it is. So it was really big deal for me. I thought if I could pull it together, use my resources and bring something like that to our area. And Saucony was on board for it, and they pulled out like all the stops. They did really well, and shout out to Gazelle Sports who let me use their store. And obviously they carry the shoe as well. So it was a win-win-win for everybody. All the people that showed up said they absolutely loved it. Learn more about shoes. They learned more about like just what super shoes like kind of are, and do, and just a little more technical. And we went on a group run afterwards. People got to try on the brand new shoes. People were like astounded by like, the way they feel differently, because the difference between the Pro 2 and the Speed in the Pro 3 is just, it's like light years difference. So it was really cool to see people's reaction to that. But yeah, shameless plug, Saucony Endorphin launch party was the shit.
Yeah, for sure. And you should talk about it because, I'm saying, you did that. I seen you, doing the work, putting the work in. I'm bummed I couldn't be there, but family things are important, and I had a wedding to go to. Yeah. So I had to be there.
I was about to be, when you said you had to go to a wedding, I was about to say, bro, she'll probably have to get married again.
You're not putting that energy on my cousin.
No, I'm sorry.
You ain't putting that energy on my cousin Molly, man. They've been together for
Molly. Yeah, Molly, if you're watching this, I'm joking. He's a good guy.
But yeah, it looked like a great event. And it's always good to educate the public on what's going on with shoes and how to, because in turn you're educating people on how to stay healthy and how to run more healthy and run smarter. So it's a win for you, but a win for the community as well. So shout out to you for putting it together, man. Super proud of you for that.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I'm really glad people turned out, and it ended up being a really good event. So there's gonna be a reel posted eventually probably tomorrow. So if you guys want to get the vibe, check it out, see it, and say really great comments in the comment section to make sure that companies reach out and do stuff like this again, and then maybe I'll be coming to a city near you. But since we on Saucony, I might as well just jump right over to the shoe case so we can talk about this next shoe that I got coming up right here. Yeah. And I'm really excited to talk about this shoe. Did I talk about it before?
Briefly,
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this in depth right now. So we're gonna go with the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. This shoe is everywhere right now. You can get it anywhere. You can get it on gazellesports.com. that's bow. You can get it on gazellesports.com easily. They have different colors. They have a white color that's actually really dope. They have that black, like iridescent type of color, which is what I'd like to get for one of the races that I have coming up. I want to get a different colorway, go all black on them. But this shoe is absolutely amazing. I should have been prepared for this moment, but I think I've done this before. But so this is the Saucony Endorphin Pro 2, which is basically the same exact thing as the Saucony Endorphin Pro 1. So there was not much change at all to this shoe from one iteration to the next. I think they just changed the upper a bit. And I think they tried to go a little lighter. But you'll see like it's kind of looks like a standard. I mean, if you compare the Pro 2 to the Speed 2, it's the exact same profile of the shoe. There's not much difference at all. The drop and the heel and all that, everything's exactly the same. So they didn't really do much from Speed to Pro. Like, so it's only difference is this one has a carbon fiber plate and the Speed 2 has a nylon plate. So it's just a little more like snappier, faster, or whatever, right? So, and then you hold up this new shoe that they have here. It's kind of hard to see a little bit, but you can see that the midsole in this one is way more chunkier, way more beefier, a lot more thick. And so this shoe is 35 and a half in the heel counter, and this is 39 and a half. So they added 4 millimeters of stack to the shoe. You feel every bit of it. It feels amazing underfoot. Super bouncy, very quick. The lockdown on the shoe, it kind of looks like it'd be kind of funny, kind of wonky a little bit, but the lockdown on the shoe is actually pretty perfect. I wore them today for the 18 miler and it did its job. I wore it for a 10K that we talked about before, did its job at that speed. I've done some intervals. I've done easy runs. This is probably one of the most versatile super shoes that I think I've ever been in, other than like the Hoka Rocket X, because it's so comfortable. You can kind of switch from different types of runs. So highly recommend. This is $225. Like I said, they got 3 different colorways for men, and I think they have like 2 or 3 different colorways for women too. But check it out, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3, and I'm gonna put this at the moment. It's probably top 3 of my favorite super shoes right now. And I'm going to probably run in this in Erie for my first marathon. Yeah, high praise. I like it a lot.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. This one's a bigger shoe with more stack than this one. This one weighs 0.8 ounces less. So they've got higher stack but less weight underfoot.
And I would imagine that comes from just a less substantial upper on the new one than the old one.
Yeah, and the foam is just less dense too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the foam is almost, it says it's the same type of foam. It is the same type of foam. The consistency is just different. But yeah, so that's my first shoe, and I'm sticking to it.
Sounds like 2 thumbs up for the Endorphin Pro 3, and that's
two thumbs up.
And seeing as the Endorphin Pro has been a favorite of many runners, Saucony is doing the right thing, and they're making it happen. So shout out to Saucony. First up for me, this shoe is. I don't believe this is the first time we've talked about this shoe, but it has made its reappearance due to a collab, and I think they nailed it. This is the. I'm tying the strings because they kind of look crazy right now. I can't hear you.
I don't think we had this shoe.
We had something close to this.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't have this one. So this is the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite Racer Tracksmith. Let me give y'all a little detail right there. That is Tracksmith collab. So that is the Puma, and that is the rabbit from Tracksmith, the logo right there, branded on the shoe.
Fire.
Man, what can I say? This is a gorgeous shoe. I mean, you would expect nothing less from a Tracksmith collab.
Right.
Some of the best in the business when it comes to the aesthetics. They get the details right. Color blocking here is awesome. Just I got so much feedback on this shoe when I posted it on Instagram because it's such a good looking shoe. I mean, it's simple, but it's not overdone. It's like they threaded that needle that you would like to see on a collaboration shoe. So from the aesthetic standpoint, it is an immaculate shoe. Probably one of my favorites of the year. From a spec standpoint, the DV8 Nitro Elite Racer is pretty solid. If you like a softer feel, a softer, bouncier shoe, this is it. And I happen to like those things, so this is it for me. A few stats. I believe this has a 36 millimeter heel to 28 millimeters on the forefoot, so an 8 millimeter drop. So I wouldn't say this is like this. It's more. It feels more like a medium stack shoe than a super high stack shoe. And the drop does give you that roll into the next step. Not super aggressively, but you do feel it. And I'm a 4-foot striker, and I feel like the foam, the Nitro foam by Puma Nitro Elite, it's perfect for me. It really works for my foot. It really works for my stride. So I really enjoyed. I enjoyed these shoes so much. I wore them a couple days in a row, which I don't normally do. And there you can see the carbon fiber plate down there at the bottom, right there. So carbon fiber plated shoe by Puma. This is a very good shoe. I don't know. I don't quite think it would be a marathon racing shoe.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
But I could see myself going out for long runs in this shoe. I could see myself doing some faster stuff in this shoe. I wore it for back-to-back easy days, a recovery day, and then just another pretty standard easy day with some strides. And they felt good. They responded well. My legs didn't feel trashed afterwards. And they've held up over two double-digit runs. They've held up. So we'll see how much we can get out of them. The only drawback, this upper is a little plasticky, a little reminiscent of the Vaporfly upper.
The first one, yeah.
The first one, whereas it's just a little. It does have texture on it, so it kind of allows it to bend and fold in different ways. So it's not just like super rigid like the Vaporflies were, but still a bit plasticky in comparison to the popular models in super shoes that are out now that are a little more knit material kind of vibes. So maybe that's the only drawback I would say. But other than that, man, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy this shoe. Tracksmith, Puma, the entire Speed City collection knocked it out the park. This is a homage to Speed City, which was San Diego State, right?
San Jose State. San Jose.
Let me check that. San Jose State, the legendary track program there that produced Tommy Smith and John Carlos, which we know from the Olympics, the Project for Human Rights, Basic Project for Human Rights, Olympic Project for Human Rights. I'm sorry, and we know now the historic photo of Tommy Smith and John Carlos on the medal stand, holding a right fist in the air in protest of the treatment of Black people in America. So this shoe has a great story. They executed it perfectly. I really couldn't ask for more. So kudos to Puma, kudos to Tracksmith. Hats off on this collaboration.
Yeah, and then check out too, like if you go to Tracksmith's website, they got a bunch of kind of like throwback looking type of pieces, like a sweatshirt, like short sleeve sweatshirt type of vibe, and they all say Speed City on it. It's definitely worth a look, and then also obviously to show the support for those fellas because, what they did meant a lot. I don't know if they knew how much it was going to mean, but it meant a lot. And that picture, I think we all know what the picture is, and I just feel like finding out more about it through Malcolm Gladwell because he's the one who did the series. They just did a really great job at like going through the story from the beginning to end and really giving you like the real feeling of what was happening at that time. And it kind of like, not to say that we're doing, like the same thing, as them, but it gave me it gave me more meaning to, I guess, to what we're doing, is because it meant a lot for them to have to be at that, to be at that point, to risk so much just to make a point. Yeah. So, for us to be in this space, same space as them, running world industry, whatever, for us to make sure that we speak what's true to us and be real to who we are and where we're from, as opposed to, just trying to fit in with what's already here. And so hearing that and putting the story and the energy behind it was like Puma and Tracksmith, for them to really go that far and link up with Pushkin Studios or Audio or Industries, was just hats off to them for doing that. I had to throw in there that it was just great. I really appreciated it from so many different levels.
Absolutely. And if you're a fan of sports, or if you're a fan of stories that changed America at all, highly recommend the Speed City podcast that Tracksmith and Pushkin and Malcolm Gladwell put together. In the last episode, which Tommy happened to be at the live recording of, they talked about
fire, bro.
Very historic athletes. Not only did they talk to Tommy Smith, and John Carlos was there as well, or just Tommy Smith?
Both Tommy Smith, John Carlos were there, and then Wilma. What's her name?
It's kind of weird.
It's a different name, and dang. But she was there. But the crazy thing was, to me, and then Otto Bolden. You guys will probably hear Otto Bolden, like he does a lot of the announcing for the Olympics and track and field. He's a great athlete in his own right too. But to hear like the passion that Tommy Smith and especially John Carlos speak with about what was happening, and then to hear them talk about where we are now with the same amount of passion and kind of like distaste for like the way things are going, and they talked about Kaepernick and the links between the way that was handled and the way that their careers were handled after they made that protest, or that not even a protest. It wasn't even a protest. Like the gesture that they made, the way that their careers took a turn. It looks exactly. It's like a mirror image of what happened to Cap. And
Colin Kaepernick is absolutely a child of that same philosophy, that same thought process. So absolutely, it's 100% still relevant today. And I think the part that I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but
no, good.
The part that really really struck me was, and the woman's name was Wyoma Tyus. She was the first athlete ever to defend the 100-meter title in the Olympics, after she won gold in the 1964 Olympics, and then came back and defended her title in 1968. Wow. So she was a big deal, very big deal. And just to hear Tommy Smith and John Carlos both say they wish they would have included the women in the planning more. They wish they would have because Wyoma actually, or I'll say Miss Tyus, out of respect, Miss Tyus actually, she didn't know what to do. She raced in her white shorts for her prelims, but in the final she wore black shorts. That was her way of acknowledging that she was in support of Tommy Smith and John Carlos. And also when she won the gold medal, she dedicated it to both of them. And they said they were so taken aback by that. They were so appreciative that she did that. But unfortunately at the time, women's voices weren't being amplified as much. So it kind of flew under the radar, but she also made a big stand, and she won gold. And she was 20, I think she was 24 years old. And it was like, yeah, she might be too old. We don't know if she can win the 100. And she's definitely paved the way for women like Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and Elaine Thompson-Herah, these titans of the sport that we see now that are these amazing sprinters that's rewriting what's possible for women. Right. And she was doing that in the 60s. So that was awesome to hear her talk that way as well.
Yeah. If you haven't, it's a 5-part thing. Malcolm Gladwell does an amazing job. If you haven't started listening to it, just listen to it. It's on any audio podcast platforms. Just check it out. Look up Speed City. It's worth it's a legacy of speed. It's called
Legacy
the
of
Legacy of
Speed.
Speed.
Legacy of
Check
Speed.
it out for sure. It's absolutely worth your time. So jump right back to Shoecase real quick. But that had to be talked about. So I appreciate you going there with me. And this next shoe is not out yet, but it is amazing. It is the Asics Nova Blast 3. Aaron is making this face because Aaron doesn't have the shoe yet, but it is what it is, Aaron. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, and I'm working to get you a pair as well, sir. So don't be.
I'm sure I'll have them at some point.
Yes.
Until then, I'm sour.
Until then, I don't like you. So this is the Nova Blast 3. As you all know, Aaron and I are not just Aaron and I, but there's so many people are humongous fans of the Nova Blast 2 and this shoe. And the weird thing about having a really great shoe like that hit the market and everybody loves it so much is like, what do you do like after? Like, do you make the mistake by changing too much? Do you make it too close to the same shoe? And I feel like they made this shoe just this much better, which was tough for me to even think about, but they just somehow did. So like it's a little higher stack. The foam to me is a little bouncier than the last version. I don't know about the weighting of the shoe. I think it actually may weigh just a little less. Actually, I'm sorry, not may. This shoe does weigh less than the second version. It's everything that you would if you ran the Nova Blast and you like them, you will like this even more. The engineering of the shoe, the more stack, a little bit more of the stack. It's what you need in a daily trainer. It's what you need for a high mileage shoe. The Nova Blast 2 to me, like I liked it for long runs, but I could see why other people didn't because it had a lot of foam there, but it didn't have much in the forefoot. They did add some millimeters to the forefoot, so it does make it a little easier to, for some of those mid to forefoot strikers that kind of just, want more of the stack kind of equally distributed. I think it's the same drop, so I mean that's why they just lifted everything up. So great shoe. I'm really excited to see what people think of it. Everybody that I know that has had them or tried them, no one said anything bad about the shoe, which is tough these days because people will tell you how they feel. You tried these on in Eugene for 4 miles or so. I think I've put maybe 20 something, almost 30 miles on these, and it just like I was kind of like falling out of love with the Nova Blast too because we have so many good shoes,
Yeah.
But then this, I'm like, okay, then we're back, we're good, because you can't compare them. Like, hey, somebody asked me, would you try Nova Blast 3s or the New Balance Super Comp trainers? And I'm like, they're two different. I'm gonna have both shoes. They're two different things. They're for two different parts of your running life. So great shoe, Nova Blast 3. Hats off to Asics for doing it again. And I think this is going to be a big hit. Colorway, fire. There's other colorways out there that are just fire. Fire all the way around.
Yeah, and everybody knows. Everybody on this that's in the room right now probably knows our affinity for the Nova Blast. It's just one of those shoes that you can just grab, like Old Faithful.
Yeah,
I don't feel like running today. Let me grab the Nova Blast. Oh, I really feel like running today. Let me grab the Nova Blast. Today I ate a bologna sandwich. I don't know why I did that, but I'm gonna grab the Nova Blast. You feel me? Because it's just that kind of shoe where you just it's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. Anything like that.
Yeah, what did you call it? You said something was like the I forgot.
Chicken
it was
in the freezer, man.
Yeah, you weren't talking about this shoe or the Nova Blast, but this is the chicken in the freezer for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
So we got one more shoe in the shoe case, and I believe this is a new brand alert. I don't think.
New brand alert. First time. Ring the bell for the first time.
First time. This is a brand that I have a lot of familiarity with from my days of high school baseball.
Mm-hmm. But I'm familiar with the golf side of things.
So we are both familiar with the brand. This is the Mizuno Wave Rebellion. this is our first opportunity to experience the Mizuno brand in the running space. That is, it's an interesting shoe. I've only ran in it once, and it feels like a pretty solid everyday trainer, but there's just something strange about it.
What's the strange thing about it?
The strange thing about it is this right here. Let me really.
What is it?
They have these ridges. And weirdly enough, you can feel these ridges on the run.
I don't know if I want that.
I feel like this would perform much better on the trail than it did on the roads.
Okay.
Because I just felt like I could feel those ridges the entire time, and that was strange. So
I wonder if you ran it again, would you be used to it, you think?
I don't know. I feel like I did get used to it as I went further. But when I first put it on, that was the first thing that jumped out to me. Like, it feels like do you remember that Reebok shoe? Maybe I don't want to age myself, but it might have been almost 10 years ago, where it had like the little blades at the bottom. It was a gimmick that Reebok did a long time ago, but it felt like that. Like, these don't seem that aggressive. But I was thinking, like, wow, like I can really feel these ridges on the road, and it was strange. So
I wonder what their you would think it's there for a reason. I wonder what their motivation was behind that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at a few reviews and see if anybody else, because maybe that's just me being weird.
Yeah,
like my legs were kind of cooked because I had a tough workout the day before, so I was super sensitive.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to take them out on a day that I'm not.
Lessen your emotional bag, less sensitive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not on my light skin stuff.
You was out there running in Drake vibes.
You feel me? I'm like, what are these? Like, this is not it. So, but other than that, it's a solid everyday trainer. It is a bit on the firmer side. So if you enjoy a firm ride, then this could be a shoe for you.
Did it turn out
a fiberglass plate?
Really?
I'm reading a review right now. It says it features a fiberglass plate with a fork design levered in the forefoot. Interesting. 8mm drop, so similar to the Tracksmith shoes that I just showed you guys. But it's just an interesting shoe. I'm gonna have to try it out a little more to see. The upper is nice. It's not knit, but it's not that plasticky material either. Pretty breathable. I like the lacing system. Decent lockdown. I didn't have any hot spots. No blisters or anything crazy. So we'll have to be TBD on this one for now. But I want to take it out on trail and see if these ridges at the bottom actually.
I have them too. So, and I haven't laced them up yet. So
so we'll see about that. And I think the fiberglass plate down there.
Yeah, I was gonna say something before. I'm liking that a lot of the shoe companies are like purposely showing the plate under there, like the Saucony, that one, what the Puma has it. I kind of like that vibe. Like, it's like random detail for nothing.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Air Jordan 11 debuted in 1996, carbon fiber shank, and you can see that's how we used to tell if So that's how that was a legit check on Air Jordan 11s back in the day.
It was real.
If you had a pair that the carbon fiber plate wasn't textured, it was just painted in this checkerboard thing, then the 11s are fake. But if you could actually feel like the carbon fiber plate and it had texture on it, then they were real. So that was so exposed carbon fiber.
Dang, so they had So Nike funny, man, because they tried to make it seem like when they put the carbon fiber plate in them Vapor 4%, they was like, this is the first time carbon, they've been using it for years.
Yeah. Actually, I think, don't quote me, but the first carbon fiber plated running shoe came out in the early 90s.
Okay.
but that's to show you that we get so caught up in the corporate
marketing,
advertising speak of carbon fiber plate, when truly the technological advancement is the foam, and the plate is there to reinforce the foam. So the foam is really what makes these shoes what they are, gives them their pop, gives them their snap, and the carbon fiber plate is used to reinforce the foam.
Yeah, and where they put that plate. Like I think it's the foam. The foam is the big deal, obviously, and because you see certain brands that have foam that is not as good as other brands. So the foam is the big deal, but then the R&D that they have to do to make sure that that plate is in the right spot in the foam, because you'll find like the big difference to me between the ASICS Meta Speed number 1 to this next version is the plate is in a different spot than it is in the first version, so it makes the shoe feel a little softer. Same pop and same snap to me, but just a different feel. So it's like you got to figure out that balance.
And shout out to Alexis the Optimist. She said maybe those ridges are for added traction in the rain. That would be very strange to see a shoe company make a shoe that is specifically for rain, but maybe they're trying to attack a different market. So you might be on something.
Maybe they're just trying to appeal to Seattle, you know?
Hey, that definitely could be it. So and then Ernest said, so MJ from the free throw line was capped. He was assisted by a carbon fiber shank. So maybe they gave him 4% of additional hang time.
Oh, don't tell me that he had the ZoomX foam and a carbon fiber plate in it. So he probably had them Kipchoge boys with the 3 plates in it somewhere.
Said he had those illegal joints.
Yeah, them legal boys. Yeah, man. So I think that brings the Nike Run Shield is clutch for the rainy. Yep.
It's clutch. Yep. It's clutch for here too when it's ugly and rainy and snowy and all of that crazy stuff.
Yeah. You need it's so the same gear. Really.
We've definitely been in action with that.
Yeah. So that brings our shoe case to a close. What while we kind of go to this next thing, I'd love to hear anybody in here is just loving a shoe right now, just like one shoe that you are just like, this is the shoe that I'm in love, in love with. Write it in the comments right now if you're in love with a certain shoe, because I want to know what y'all are feeling and vibing with right now. But in the meantime, while they're writing, like I'm 2 weeks away from marathon number 1 of 3. And today I felt like at mile 14 and 15, I was like, we here, we good. And then mile 16, 17, I was like, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can run this race. I'm not sure. All right, cool. All right, so Alexander Wright, shout out to Alexander Wright, another Michigander. He said the ASICS Nova Blast 2 to this day. Hey, Alex, once you get your hands on the Nova Blast 3, I need to know what you think right away, because
I'm sure he'll love it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love it. Because I don't think you can not love it.
Alec Torgan says Hoka Mach 5's personal favorite right now. Yo,
Hoka Mach 5 is fire.
Wore the Hoka Mach 5 on Saturday. That's yesterday.
So long ago.
I enjoyed them. I've been trying to kind of lean towards less stack height recently, and the Mach 5s are a good balance of stack height and comfort. So they held me down yesterday for sure. So I'm liking it. I agree with you.
And then what else we got?
Alexa says she loves the Endorphin Speed 2s. Well, we have something similar to that, but it's the next version. So we'll be sure to give you a review on that shortly.
Yeah, no, I think I really do like the Speed 2. So the Endorphin Speed 2 to me was better than the Endorphin Pro 2, like by a lot. And
I think that was kind of consensus. I think that's
I don't even know. I felt bad for Saucony athletes at one point, because how is like the stepped down version of your race shoe better than the race shoe that you're supposed to race in? But then when the shoe you're supposed to race in is much less than these other ones, like that you got to compete against. But I think with the Pro 3, they definitely closed that gap.
They figured it out.
Yep. So
they just changed the names on the shoes. She's been wearing the Adidas Adios Pro 2 a lot too. I wore that for my long run today, and every time I wear those, bro, I'm reminded that it's a solid shoe. It's a really good shoe, bro.
I haven't. So I looked over
footbed, bro. The
you
footbed is so wide, and once you get the lacing system locked in,
yeah,
they float. You'll float in them. That foam is nice. The energy rods give you a good bit of return. So yeah, no, I enjoy the Adios Pro 2s for sure.
Man, yeah, I looked over and saw you running in those, and I was like, dang, I'll never give those no play. And I thought about it for like a whole mile. I was just thinking about the shoes for some reason. It's like, and then I got into the pain cave and I stopped thinking about those shoes.
Forgot all about them.
Forgot all about them. Yep. So
I don't even know what shoes you wore today.
I wore the Saucony Pro 3.
Yeah, you're right.
And Alexis says she totally agrees. The Pro 2s were a little weak. We do expect you to agree with us because you're the third member of the show. I mean, you can't come in with a rogue opinion. And so just while you guys, if you're just tapping in, favorite shoe right now, let us know because we want to talk about it. But yeah, so 2 weeks out from Erie Marathon, which I'm really pumped for. The training block has gone really well. I feel body wise, I feel good, great, even a little less mileage than it will be for New York or towards New York. So the goal for Erie is just to sub 3 it, 255, 256. And I mean, it's like I was thinking about that today. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna jog in, like boom, boom, whatever. Like, no, I'm gonna be tired.
You gonna work.
I'm gonna be gassed. It's gonna be work, but just a little less work, and it'll be more about like sustaining the effort for the 26.2. So for the 2 hours and 50 something minutes, And I was telling you, like, my goal is to not. I don't want to get to any point where I'm like, oh, I'm running really well, and I'm gonna go low 250s because got to run Chicago and then New York. So in New York is the A race of the year. So that's the vibe we're going for. And Alexis, third member vibes truly says, are you feeling nervous, Tommy? Not yet. Like I don't normally get too nervous about like races until like they're like right there, like I'm too scatterbrained for that. I got like 75 things I want to do like between now and then. So I'm just trying to take it day by day, just knock out a workout, stay healthy, stay on my feet, you know what I mean? And just keep recovery, keep the sleep things going up. Been wearing a Whoop for like a week. So it's like helping me see how far away from
how neglectful you are to yourself.
Duh, I'm in debt financially and sleep apparently.
Oh sleep. Man, how can forget that? Shout out to Mari. Happy birthday. Late, so yeah, belated, all of that good stuff. 38.
My 38th birthday was on last Monday. So, but it was just shout out to Mari too, because Mari and I feel like Mari had like everything to do with it, and only her probably. But shout out to Mari and ASICS out there in Falmouth in Boston, and I got surprised with a birthday cake. Go to my story or go to my timeline, and there's like a picture and a video of it. It had my like IG profile like silhouette vibe. It was so dope on a red cake. Yes, shout out for that because that's just super dope. I love you, Mari.
Shout out my boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, oh yeah, your boss, my friend, Mari. Yeah, you better say good things about it on this show, brother. Yeah. So not nervous yet. How are you feeling though, Aaron? You got. What are we out from? We're like 10
weeks. Today is 10 weeks. Yep. So starting to really ramp up. I was thinking the other day, right? So I've been at 60 plus miles for the last 3 weeks. And I've just been in my head like, man, like we really about to get trained. We about to start training.
Yeah.
Which is nonsense because 60 plus miles a week. And I'm just like thinking like, oh, this is regular. It's kind of crazy because it's not like
you don't feel tired. You don't feel tired.
Tired of these. No, man, I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling straight. Full transparency, I did have some issues with my knee. Yeah, just every training block we have these little things. I think it was a couple weeks In the last training block where I was having some trouble with my knee, it felt a little funny when I would stop. So I kind of had to limp into a stop every time I stopped running.
Yeah, no,
but,
right.
I endured it. I paid attention to it. I rehabbed it on the fly. I didn't push myself. I kind of know I like to think I know my limit when it comes to my pain threshold and what's okay to try and what's okay not to. So I was having some issues. I think just a pretty classic example of minor just runner's knee kind of vibes. So the outside of my left knee was giving me a little bit of problems, but it only persisted for about a week, and I think I'm out of the other side with it now. So 10 weeks out, just hoping to make sure that I'm paying attention to my sleep, making sure I'm paying attention to my water intake and all those little things, making sure I'm actually getting on the ground and foam rolling and not worrying and not relying 100% on the massage gun, because we can get lazy with that. I feel like we're much more intentional when we get down on the floor with the trigger point ball or with a foam roller, and really just like give your body that love and that consideration that it needs. So I think this small little thing was just kind of a reminder to let me know that nobody's above it. Nobody is too good to fall victim to the injury bug, and we have to do everything we can in order to stay on top of it and give our body the attention it deserves to stay in the optimal state. So
yeah, and
today we back at it. Tuesday I got my first double of the block.
Oh wow,
So
I forgot.
Real.
So that's funny because like I'm in a small taper for Erie, and you're just you're starting to do doubles or whatever. So it'll be fun to watch. So fun fact about Aaron. as this training block goes on, he doesn't show it to you guys on the show or on like Instagram or whatever, but Aaron gets real cranky like towards like the work end of like a training block. He gets real cranky. Like you need to be like kind of just be wary, because like so he may snap a little bit. So I'll try to make sure I catch some of those like cranky vibes like on camera. So we have like I'm gonna do a reel at the end of all your cranky moments.
Cranky greatest hits.
Yeah, cranky greatest hits after you crush it in New York, like you're celebrating your PR, and I'm gonna drop like a dope reel with like some really good music about how cranky you are. So
hey man, it's 80 miles a week is not for the faint of heart. I can't be expected. What have you ever seen the shirts that say don't hold it against me what I said when I was hungry or something like that? Like
right, yeah.
Don't hold it against me what I said when I'm 80 miles into the week.
Right, what do you want from me? Like, do you want me to actually like have like a good vibe about myself? Like
do you know how much I'm asking of my body? You want me to be chipper too? This is not.
You're like, I'm here. That's all you get is the fact that I'm here. But yeah, and then just to go along with this training block pains vibe. So my knee it's just like holding up. Like it just keeps going. Some runs, like, or some days I look up and realize like I didn't have any pain. I told you the other day, like I did like a stretch that I just couldn't do until like that day, and that was just last week. So I mean, I have really been pushing. Like I probably shouldn't have been running this last like. Maybe I was probably really doctor-wise probably in the clear maybe 3 weeks ago. But going to ramp and getting worked on by Audrey and the structural integrationist that she is, she kept me out on the road and kept me healthy. So shouts out to them. And if you do have a structural integrationist near you and you got some pains, go there. I actually referred Gary to, because Gary had that where his pain was really, but it was like kind of like in his back, right, or his hip.
I think he was having sciatic issues.
I'm like, but he kept having it and he couldn't run. I'm like, you should just go see her or whatever. And he was still starting to run and he was still having pain. And he said like he like after a few days after going there, he could do some things that he couldn't do, before going. So sometimes you just got to invest in your body. You got to pull a LeBron, spend $1 million on a body, But
you want $1 million results, you got to put $1 million investments into it.
And I just want maybe a $500 result.
You know what I'm saying? I just want my money's worth of World Marathon Major cover charge, whatever that is.
Yeah, like I just want my time of flying, so like just what I'm saying. Pay me back. I'll pay for that. But yeah, so training block pains, they happen. Pay attention to them. Listen to your body. Sharp pains, you gotta stop, slow down, figure it out.
But I do want to say, every little pain doesn't mean stop running.
Yeah. I didn't mean it like
that.
What do they say? Like a 1 to 10, anything higher than like a 6 or a 7.
Mm-hmm. Because what was weird about this is my knee would hurt when I moved laterally, but not so much when I went linear. So I felt like running was in the clear for me, but I did cut back on lunges. I did cut back on weighted squats, things like that I felt in my knee as soon as I did it. But I did get on the ground, and I was doing clamshells, and I was doing things to strengthen hip lifts and things like that, to strengthen other areas that wouldn't put pressure directly on my knee, because you want to make sure that you are continuously strengthening your body around the areas that you're having problems. Because if you just sit dormant and y'all need David Goggins on the show and talk about pain.
Oh man, he'd be like, yeah.
If we have David Goggins on the show, we're gonna talk about his trauma.
Yeah, we talking about it's gonna be all about emotional pain. It's gonna be about the pain. It's gonna be about the pain body. That's what we talking about.
Right, and bring Eckhart Tolle, have a collaboration episode.
Yeah, for real.
Let's get to the root of why you feel like you have to destroy yourself every day.
Like, Mr. Duckworth.
They call me David Joggins, so I mean, it's all good.
David Joggins. Oh Lord, I think you should change your Instagram name. But yeah, like honestly, like David Goggins thing threw me all the way off. But yeah, man, I think you just gotta listen to your body or something.
Something or another.
But don't be too scary though, because like you'll stop for everything if just be real.
You won't remember that you were a good runner at some point. You'll be like, did this injury make me out of shape? But it's like, no, you've been sitting down because you're scared because of the injury.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
All that fitness.
That's what I'm gonna say, because you made a good point about like doing some things that you could do, working on. I don't know if I talked about it on here before, but so for the last 2-3 weeks or so, I've been doing a lot of strength training and trying to stay on a regimen. And it was provided to me. This is a name drop for sure. Nel Rojas,
I wish I had a bell.
Yeah, the Nel. Yeah, for every time I name drop.
Yeah.
No, Nel Rojas gave me the a workout plan, and the fun fact that I didn't ever think of is that most pros do their workouts, like their gym work, on the same day as a hard effort.
Yeah.
They do it after the track session or after the big long run. I thought I would stagger it to other days, and she's like, no, you just stack your days, because if you do it on a different day, now you're one day closer to the next big effort. Now you're stretching out that workout, and then you got to work out again after that, and now you got 1 day to recover, or 2 days instead of 3, possibly. So that was a mind, whatever you supposed to call it, but it was great, and I've been having a really good time working out and getting stronger. And I honestly do feel like that'll be the things that I reach for when stuff gets when thinking how sticky it gets on a marathon. I feel like I'll be thinking about the work that I've done outside of running as well. So sleep, workout, recover, run. Something not in that order. Repeat. Yeah.
Very on brand. Yeah, and that's interesting because hard days hard. Alexis took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Those days that you run workouts, tough sessions, to stack it with another some strength training in the gym. It allows you to just max out that it's like you squeeze all of the toothpaste out of the tube, and then you fill it all back up on the easy days. You don't have to worry about, oh man, I'm still sore for my easy day.
Yeah,
that doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
That I made myself more sore on an easy day, on a recovery day.
Yeah,
of all days. Yeah.
So as you can see, we are still learning. We are still works in progress. We are not experts in this field in the least bit, and we're open to learning. We're open to trying new things because we understand that we don't have all the answers. And as long as you remain open and as long as you remain teachable, you can go further and further, much further than you would think in this running thing and in this life thing. So yeah, I guess that's the vibes, man. We're staying inquisitive and we're staying curious about new knowledge and new ideas. No closed brains out here.
And I'm looking like an idiot on purpose because I'm calling this training block like the training this season, the season of new things. So I got a steel tub for ice baths.
There's a brand out here. It's called the Ice something or another.
Ice tub.
Ice tub. We gotta get with them boys.
Yeah, I feel like they're super expensive. Like I know like the thought is to not pay for it. But I thought about that
in other currency. Hey, yo. All right, man. It might be time to get off of here. We acting a fool.
No. Another currency. Oh, you meant
social currency.
Social currency, okay.
Yeah, no. Those days are in the past.
Man, about to do something strange for ice tub. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Tommy TOMMIE _RUNZ Tommy _runs. You can follow Aaron at
Aaron X Worldwide AARON X WORLD WIDE. Hit your mans with the follow. I'm trying to catch Tommy and followers. I am very far behind.
Yeah. If you follow me, go follow Aaron. I'd be happy with that. That'd be cool.
Salute emoji.
Peace out. Episode 2.
See y'all next week.
Episode 2 done.